My dear friends and followers, good evening. Well, normally I had planned to go live today to be open for questions and other stuff. But unfortunately, the internet connection is kind of bad today because it's Saturday. So I decided now to make it as normal with the video. So, how is the situation? Well, not better, but it's getting kind of worse. There was a report today that the coronavirus, now reached even the city of my mom, where my mom is living in Germany. We have in Germany now 35 confirmed cases, but well, you guys know and maybe have learned already that that there are much more people. They are just not yet tested, or they don't feel like going for a test because they don't feel that bad right now. They are not feeling so sick, because what I always point out is, since days I'm pointing out that part, that the virus is in 80% or 85% of the cases not more than a flesh cold, and only in 20% or less it is getting complicated and dangerous and can even be deadly, but that is only a very small percentage. So actually, as the situation is not getting better, it's getting worse every day, and I can only speak for Germany now because this is where I got most of the news from. Actually, there is one of the biggest fairs, like we have a trade fair here in the Gambia, so it is a tourism fair. It's the world biggest tourism fair, which should be next week in Berlin. They cancelled it, which is, I think, somehow a good decision. On the other hand, of course, also not a good decision, because it will also spread more the panic. Still nothing in Gambia confirmed. We don't know about it. We don't know nothing about what is happening here in the Gambia right now. Is it already here, what I always think that it is here, or is it really not yet in the country? But I cannot believe that it's just because no one is really feeling sick. And maybe, and this is a suggestion that been said by some scientists already some days ago, that our very dry and hot climate, maybe the virus does not like it that much. But this is at least not confirmed yet. So Europe, the situation is getting worse. The Switzerland has banned all big get-togethers, parties, programs with more than 1,000 people. It's forbidden those such activities now in Switzerland. Germany is starting to individually restrict get-togethers, programs, whatever, like the big fair, that tourism fair that is now cancelled. And football games might be also in the future without fans in the stadium. Can you believe that? That shows how crazy the situation already is. But well, on the other hand, and one thing I also want to enlighten you today on is, it is not about stopping the virus. This virus is not stoppable. It is just to gain time, to create a vaccine and to prevent the worst thing to happen. I mean, I'm always criticizing the actions of the governments, especially the actions of the Western world government in locking down cities. It will not help. As I said already in the other video, it will not help. It will just spread more panic. And that's why I'm very fine. We are doing it very good here in the Gambia. We are prepared. We definitely have not many tests, I think, and our staff, our medical staff is doing their best. But the good thing is we have no panic here in the country. And this is also another thing that I want to point out again. We can still supply ourselves. In Europe this is not possible, or in America, where too many people are living there, right? They need all these supermarkets and daily supplies, and if the people are not working, food cannot be produced. Here in the Gambia we can go to the provinces and get our food. I mean, we have still enough food in the country to supply ourselves. Of course, things like the good things in the supermarket, that might stop soon, because what I think is those countries, like European countries and whatever, they will need that food that they have for themselves. If more and more people got infected, more and more people cannot go to work, things cannot be produced. it's like a devil's circle, you know. One thing lead to another thing, and that might hit the Gambia too, because if Europe is not exporting anymore, we cannot import stuff. I'm always thinking about milk powder with this, for example, which is always coming from Western world or from the here Middle East. So if there are no workers, they cannot produce it, we will not have it. But I think that's the good thing about the Gambia. We and you guys, I know you will survive here. For me it's just some weeks until I go to Germany to visit my mom. To be really honest, I don't know if I can make it back. I'll keep an eye on that, and I hope that I will make it back, because I don't want to die there in Europe with thousands and millions of other people in one spot. But no new updates from Africa today. So tomorrow evening I will try to get live. I don't know what's up with the internet today, but well, it's how it is. I can as always say that's all the news for today. The situation is getting worse. The numbers of cases are climbing in Europe, especially Europe now. Italy has 800 cases now, I think Germany 34, but those are numbers that are the ones that the agencies know about. But you can always imagine there is at least 20 or 30% more of people that are not going for testing yet or not feel bad yet. So it's just numbers. Me personally, I heard now so much corona that I just feel calm. And I was asked again today about what is the best way to protect yourself from the coronavirus. And I can always say, as simple as it sounds, but washing your hands regularly. Like even every time you come from outside, inside your house, before you eat, wash your hands. Try to use Suntex or another medical soap. You have already protected yourself by over 50% with that. Avoid touching your face. The standard human being you touch your face almost 200 times a day, but you can try to control it, because as soon as you get closer to the mouth, the nose or the eyes, the virus can enter through those points. So touching your face, nothing, shaking hands. I know it belongs to our culture, to our country, but it should be done with big caution. Also not to go too close to a person. If you want to kiss your girlfriend, yeah, maybe you can, of course, why not? But on the other hand, this is the fastest way to spread a virus, of course, those days especially. I always say almost 1 meter distance from a person, then the person, it's also more difficult for the virus to spread. So this is simple things that you can protect yourself. And I posted that little flyer from the WHO, the simple precautions that you can take to protect yourself. Well, that's it for today. Tomorrow more. Have a good night and good day, or whatever time it is when you are watching this video. Thank you very much, and see you tomorrow. Stay blessed.